Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith is excited and supercharged to continue our mission work this year. In 2021, we had the privilege of visiting schools, homes, and churches in Nassau, Bahamas. We want to be strategic in ensuring young men in the Bahamas have the content to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. We plan to provide 100 books to young men during this missions trip. Family, friends, and viewers, please assist us in ensuring we are 100% successful in reaching our goal. Please help us by sponsoring a book, 2 books, or more. Further information about exact locations is coming soon. We appreciate your sincere support. We are a 501c3 organization. Please contact us at byblwdsmith@gmail.com to inform us how many books you pledge. Visit www.buildyourbestlife.org for more information.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to night 4 of our 2023 Educational Symposium. Hey, if you have not been here on night 1, 2, or 3, you have been missing out. It has been amazing. We had Bishop Gregory T. Lightner IV on Monday night, and he taught us on Teach It Forward. And when I say he taught us so until he preached us into understanding the concept of the importance of teaching and getting to know students as you try to assist them in being better. Then on Tuesday night, we had Anita J. Cummings, and she taught us, I Thought You Should Know. And it was like, okay, what did she think we should know? Well, hey, you had to be there. It was amazing. She started out by telling us that, hey, she was going to give us some information. It was her perspective and what she believed. You might not agree, but it was the way it was. And she started out with her mama hat, and she transitioned into her mama hat. She kept that on, but then she came to it from an educational standpoint, the educators. That was amazing as well. And then last night we had Dr. Cynthia Smith changing the narrative. And she explained how you as a student, sometimes even the educators, have to change the way you think or do things in order to make a change in your life for the better. So it was amazing. Now tonight, all I'm going to say is I can't wait for this one, because it seems like it will be the icing on the cake. So I can't wait, but I'm not going to mess anything up. I'm going to let our host tell you all about that. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in all of this week. And if you missed any of these great broadcasts, please go back to Facebook, on my personal page, or my Build Your Best Life page, as well as YouTube, and check out the rewinds. It will be well worth your time. Good evening to, I see we have Sister Catherine Trotter out there watching, Peggy Wiggins, Carolyn Cuffey. Thank you all for tuning in. Virginia Weaver, thank you, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. Again, we appreciate it. We want you to like, share, and make sure that you comment. We love comments because that lets us know that you're engaged and you are ready for more. And our speakers, if you have questions or whatever, I'll put them up on the screen and they will be happy to answer those for you as well. Yes, I agree, Carolyn. Carolyn says it has been a powerful conference. Yes, it has. And thank you so much. I love it when you are on, because you make sure that we have lots of comments and a lot of interaction. So thank you, Carolyn. So yes, make sure that you like and share. Now, without further ado, I am going to introduce you to our host for tonight. She is a sweetie pie, all the way from Dallas, Texas, Ms. Jocelyn Charles. Hello, Jocelyn.
Good evening, Coach Deborah, and good evening, everyone, to the Build Your Best Life platform. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As Coach Deborah mentioned, this has been an awesome educational symposium. I hope you have tuned in. If not, get your notepads or your tablet if you'd like to type on your keyboard, and get prepared to take plenty of notes. The educators who have spoken this week have dropped a lot of nuggets and inspiration for parents, teachers, and most importantly, young men. And so you are in for a treat today. We have an awesome speaker. But before I introduce that speaker and tell you a little about her, I want to go into prayer. So please bow your heads, close your eyes. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you today for blessing this platform, for bringing us all together and just providing this platform to spread the message to families, to parents, to other educators, and as well as young men. That is our purpose here, and that is the purpose of this platform. We thank you for Coach Deborah, for the heart that you have, for what you have placed in her heart to serve our young men. God, you know, in this generation, our young men, they need you. They need guidance, and it takes a village to guide them. And we thank you for bringing this platform together. I pray that you bless the speaker tonight, and that her words come forth and ignite something in a young man, ignite something in a parent, and spark and reignite something in an educator. Anything that is going to bless people, we ask that you cover our speaker and cover this program for tonight. In Christ's name I pray, amen. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you our awesome educator for tonight. Tonight, you will hear from Miss Christine Stringfield Ricks. She is a director of Advisor Support and Completion Initiatives at Old Dominion University, or ODU, where she has been employed for 30 years. Also, having graduated from ODU, Ms. Ricks holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and her master's in occupational and technical studies with a business and industry emphasis. Her primary job is to assist students who find themselves in academic difficulty at the university. She also advises students returning from academic suspension to persist academically through targeted campaigns and outreach at ODU, ultimately leading to their graduation. Ms. Ricks also provides support and training to professional and faculty advisors at various levels of their careers. Outside of her career at Old Dominion University, Ms. Ricks is devoted to her family. She and her husband of 24 years are the proud parents of 2 adult children, one whom is disabled. Ms. Ricks understands the need to advocate for better health care and support services. She extends her journey to help educate other families on how to obtain resources and government assistance. In addition to her family commitment, she serves on the administrative board of GTL Ministry under Bishop Gregory and Pastor Karen Leitner. Ms. Ricks prides herself on being an example of God's love. She believes wholeheartedly that when we work together as a collective village, our students can soar beyond circumstances. Ms. Ricks hopes that her legacy reflects the thousands of lives she has helped shape through being a part of her students' villages. Welcome, Ms. Christine Stringfield Ricks.
Hey y'all, my name is Henry Dinkins. I go by J.O. the Artist. I'm 21 years old. I'm eventually finna be 22 in September 17th. And it's been an exciting journey. I've been working on art for a little while, since I was little. I started off doodling and really got into it from my sister. And then it just led on to my family supporting me, inspiring me. And then I also just got into high school, my 10th grade year. My art teacher, his name is Chad Wilkerson, started to really push me and saw a vision in me that just took off. And I didn't see it at first, but once I started drawing and getting into it, I started winning competitions. Like I did face. I didn't win it, but I got into it and then went to state. And it was real fun. I got to learn and be around other students and people around my age. Then I also just progressed to go into NAACP actual competition. I ended up winning gold my first year. I was so surprised because I didn't think I was gonna make it to that. But after that, it built my confidence, and then I thank my art teacher a lot because he really gave me something that he really like put something in me, like a seed that grew over time, and then it just stirred up my gifts. I started dancing more, started doing my art more, and then now I do music, and I've been doing it for a while, which I really enjoy because all I want to do is just inspire and make a change. And so far, I feel like I've been doing that, and it's just been on the road. My art teacher, he worked at Rowlett High School. Not sure if he still worked there, but I thank him a lot, and it's been a long journey, and I plan on keep on going. So, and then as I grow up and keep on going, I plan on feeding the same seed to other students and people my age, and then also younger than me, older than me, and just to know that just don't stop and just keep on going. Like, it's been hard, but like some days are harder than others, but it gets easy, and then it's just ups and downs. But I look through it, and then I just remember what he taught me and what he said, and just know that I gotta believe in myself first, because I've been blessed to where I had people believe in me first, and then I believed in myself second. But yeah, and it just really gets me going ever since that day. And the title of my art pieces was Keeping It Together, New Beginnings, consequential choices. Those are the main ones. And then self-motivation, those are the main ones that was really my core drawings that I did a while back. 10th grade year, 11th grade year, and then 12th grade year. And yeah, so I just say keep doing what you're doing, stay at what you're doing, and believe in yourself. Because if you don't, then you just gonna be stuck, and nobody should be stuck, and should be just keep on growing and keep going. So stay blessed, stay up, and stay tuned. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook. My Instagram is j.l.artist, the artist. My music is JL, the artist. It's all together when you type it. And just stay tuned and keep yourself up. Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome. It's so great to see our young Black men who, persevere and do well and want to do well and want to bring other people up as well. That's absolutely wonderful. So I just want to thank you and happy, good evening to everyone. My name is Christine Stringfield Ricks, and I actually definitely want to thank Coach Deborah for the invitation. I have learned so much this week from our amazing speakers that we've had. They've been dynamic. Their words resonated to me, and I can't wait to share all those tidbits and rules and message of encouragement to not only the Black men that I see on a daily basis, but also to my son, who is a awesome Black male himself. Before I get into my message, there's a poem by, or I say saying actually, by Muhammad Ali. And I actually, like I said, I work with students who are in college, but I say this, and this is also always beautiful, and I always put this on my door, and it says, I dare you. Impossible is a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world that they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. That's something that I always tell our students, that there's nothing impossible. So you do need some type of motivation. I try as much as possible to motivate my students every time I step foot onto my campus. Now, let me tell you a couple things about me and why this subject actually resonates to me. I am the youngest of 8 children. My mom was a single mom, so my motivation came from seeing my mom struggle, actually, to raise us on her own. And this motivated me to be the first in my family to actually not only earn a bachelor's, but a master's degree. And I'll talk about more factors of how that happened later. But my topic for today is motivating today's student, particularly our Black males. But before I get into the actual subject, we need a definition. Now, motivation can be defined as the internal or external drive that initiates, drives, sustains behavior toward achieving a goal or fulfilling a need. It is a force that compels individuals to take action, persist in their efforts, and strive for success. That's what we want for all people. But we know that it's an uphill battle sometimes for our Black males. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about my perspective, but I'm coming more from a college administrator, a college advisor, someone who's taught college courses about motivating our students, our Black males, as they enter college. And I believe my message actually does resonate to all stages of life. Now, it was mentioned that I work for a higher institution, which is Old Dominion University. It's a 4-year institution in Norfolk, Virginia, and we have an enrollment of about 25,000 students. Now, the great part about Old Dominion that I'm really proud of is we were designated maybe a couple of years ago as a minority serving institution, which was not the case when I actually entered Old Dominion about 30 years ago. So we made some great strides on educating students that look like us. And I'm so very proud of Old Dominion for that. We made great strides and we got a lot more to go now. I'm not going to say the buck stops here, but it does help knowing that they see a need and they are actually filling that need, that our students need of color need to be educated. Now, my primary job, like I said, is an administrator, but I started my job off at Old Dominion as an academic advisor. And most students equate that to like a guidance counselor, someone that helps them pick out the classes and things like that. But, you know, academic advisors' roles have become expanded over the years, actually. They've become mentors, they've been role models, they've become mental health counselors. They've become some of everything over the years. And I've taught freshman courses, but I also talk to students who face academic difficulty and to try to get them back on the right path. So I do a lot for a little of time. Now, how I approach motivating these students, it really depends on the actual situation. But no matter what approach I take, you have to constantly motivate your students, especially our Black males. And many statistics that were stated earlier in the week about the shortage of Black males obtaining a postgraduate degree, I see that every day. And my mission is to keep the Black males that I come in contact with here at Old Dominion, and I motivate them to complete their degree. Like I said, I do actually have a lot of I do a lot of policy at the university. So unfortunately, I have to place students on academic warning, probation, suspension, but also I help with the reinstatement of those students so that they can obtain their degree. And sometimes it's very hard because what you're going to have to do when I do this, you have to motivate them. You have to say, you know what, you fell down, but you can get up. Just keep on going. I see potential in you. Do what I know that you can do. Put your best foot forward and move. Don't look back. Don't look at that failure. Don't look at somebody said you couldn't do something. You keep moving forward. Now, as director of academic advisor completion, I have to enforce those policies, but I also come in contact with some amazing students and some parents at every stage of their academic journey, and that does include welcoming them into the university. Unfortunately, yes, I have to usher out for a little while. Now, when I talk to my students, all my new students, I talk to them about the rigors of college academia. And I encourage them to seek out the help, ask the question, remember why they're here. And I also talk to parents about their assistance in motivating and encouraging their child, because it is part of everybody's journey to help that child succeed. So I had to reiterate not only to the students, but to the parents that it takes a village and that motivating them does not stop when they leave that house, when they when they graduate from high school. They have to keep encouraging and motivating those students to do well. Because we know that as much as we give them that encouragement and that know-how, then they will do well. Funny story. My brother Bishop Lightner, he actually had on their show today on Is Love Enough on WRUU 107.5. They talked about Am I Ready for College? And they stress how being involved in a child's college life is so important. And it's like I said, it's not just a parent, it's a village. Everyone has to do that. And then one joke I always tell parents when I do orientation, to motivate them, I say, you know what? As soon as they get here and they complete this degree, then they can get out your pocket. Well, we know that's not the case. I got a 25-year-old and he's still in my pocket. But less than he was. So make sure that, keep motivating your students' parents. Now, there are many factors that influence motivation, and I'll touch upon a few this evening. But while I do so, think about what motivates you. Because we all need that motivation. Educators need motivating to teach our students. Parents need motivating to keep their children. And you as students, you need to motivate yourselves and and your friends. So it does take a village. Now, as educators, it's our responsibility also to create an environment that inspires our students to reach their full potential. So, however, with all the changing times, the increasing distractions, motivating students has become more and more challenging than ever before. I see a lot of freshmen, their first year at Old Dominion. And some of the hardest things for them is getting up and going to class. How can you motivate a child to get up and go to class when mom and dad are knocking on that door saying, hey, don't forget this class. Don't forget to read. Don't forget to study. Hey, you want to go out with that friend? Hey, it's fine to go out with that friend, but don't forget you got to also come home and study. I used to be part of study groups when I was in school. And I always studied with my study groups. And you know what? In those study groups, we had so much fun. We just talking about life and fussing about the professor, you know. And then, you know what I've learned, though? I studied with that group. And then, know what I did? I went in my room and I studied again. Because I had to retain that information because I knew that I wasn't getting everything that I needed to get. And students, they know themselves. They know when they haven't grasped a subject or a reading that they need to read over again. They know that. So how can you effectively motivate students? And I hate to say it, I tell people this all the time. I motivate them two ways. Either I kick them out or I bring them back in. It's two ways, but either way, I'm going to kick them out with love, and I'm going to bring them back with just as much love that I kicked them out with, because I want them to know that, hey, you made a mistake, you didn't do well. That first year was not your year, but guess what? Who says that this one isn't? So I have to make sure that I am always motivating my students, always encouraging them for them to aspire to their full potential, because we all know that they can do it if they set their minds to doing it. So I make sure I do that. So you really do. You have to know the student. You have to know the audience in which you are motivating, because students come with they're so different than other generations. You know, they have cell phones, they have social media, they have bullying going on, mental health problems. They got so many pressures and expectations, and they're juggling so many responsibilities. And some of them, they juggle those responsibilities at an early age, and it's so hard. So to conquer this, you must first understand their challenges, and then often offset these challenges. Okay, so our Black males, they face stereotypes. And I know a lot of this week, a lot of the speakers talked about stereotypes that our students are facing, the biases, the socioeconomic disparities, the lack of representation, and the lack of role models, real role models. Now, with these obstacles, motivation is hindered as well. So let's talk about some strategies in which you can help with that motivation factor for our students. Of course, like I say, I cannot say this enough, and I won't say this enough. Positive role models are important. I firmly believe that everyone should have a role model, should have a mentor. A Black man needs to see successful individuals that look like them. And I'm not talking about Jay-Z or Michael Jordan or any of those. I'm talking about, Mr. Robert down the street, Reverend Fitch, who's going to help me, Dr. So-and-so. These are the people that our men need to follow and talk to and have a level of someone that can encourage them. So men who can talk to them from their level, someone that can guide them, someone that can ask questions, someone who listens to them, and not just listen to them, but listen to them and not be just judgmental about it. Nobody's going to go back to you if all you do is judge them, or you ask them questions about why you do this, or you should have done this. You're not motivating, you're not encouraging, you're not inspiring these men. And they need that. They need to know that even if you don't agree with them, they say, you know what? Hey, have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about it that way? Maybe you should have maybe you should have done it this way. Well, maybe next time you could do it this way, and I think you'll be fine. So I have several mentors, and they have made a big difference in my life. Not just teachers, but professors, friends. I've had so many, and I have some that I can go to for anything. And I say have several mentors, because not every mentor knows everything. So we know that. So go to the mentor that fits your situation. If you're having problems when you're not sure whether you should go for this job, talk to your mentor that's in the profession that you want to be in, or that you're in. If you're having some spiritual issues, talk to someone in your church. So always have more than one mentor, because it will make a big difference in your life. My second one is to encourage education. Now, we all know, and we've heard the jargon, that there's power in education. And there is. There's so much power in education. There's so much power in learning. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's college. And in my many years at Old Dominion, I see firsthand that college is not for everyone, or it may not be for them at that time. Look at that. Fester upon that and see. Maybe it isn't for you at that time, but maybe it will be. Last night's speaker talked about how she was on academic probation her first year of college. And we see that all the time. Sometimes people are just not ready for the rigors that college gives them that first year, and they're just not ready. But we just don't know. Some just choose the wrong major. Some think that they're going to be an engineer when they hate math. And I don't want them working on my road. I don't want them designing anything if they don't like what they're doing. Because if they don't like what they're doing, they won't do it well. So I always tell them, find your passion. Motivate students to do something that they love, that they're good at. And a college degree may not be necessary for either one of them. Have them master a trade, going after passion that is also the measure of success. Everyone plays a role in motivating students to figure out what they want to do. Why don't you just make sure that they follow a career path that they love, that they like? I love going to Old Dominion every day. I love the interaction that I have with my students. I would love to get paid more, but I still love what I do. And who doesn't? A huge thing with our freshmen as well is, they choose to be an accounting major and they have to take a history course. And they're like, I don't like history. But sometimes you got to do things that you just don't like, but you have to get to them. So they have to do those requirements to obtain their degree. And no one said that when achieving your goal, you have to choose that you're going to like every path that you choose. So number 3, provide self-confidence. Help your young men by building their confidence. Highlight their strengths, what they're good at. Help them toot their own horn. Help them pursue their passion. As a Black male, help them embrace their identity and be the proud Black man they are. Remember, motivation starts within. Number 4, foster a positive mindset. Our speaker last night talked about the power of having a great mindset, positive mindset, teaching our sons the power of resilience. A lot of my motivation actually came from not having as a child, being the youngest of 8, living in a 2-bedroom home with 8 kids. My motivation was to get me a great big room where I can roll from here to there and not have anybody knocking me over or having a leg in my back. That was a motivation. I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go to college. Or actually motivation from a tragedy. You know, we talked about how my daughter's a special needs. She felt she had so many setbacks in her life. But my motivation was to get everything that she needed in order for her to do well. So motivation comes from all types of ways. Being resilient comes from tragedy, but you have to be able to grow from that. Use those experiences to grow and have a never give up mentality. So mindset is so important in order to do that. Now, our boys, they have to also encourage, we have to encourage community involvement. They have to be able to give back. Seek, and the fruits of their labor, they have to make sure those types of things can be a great motivator. So get out and do things. Do things for your community. You will never know how much networking you can get done when you are out in your community and you're getting involved and someone sees you for what your strengths are. And having those strengths like that, you never know what they see potential in you and give you something or expose you to something that you never thought you'd be exposed to. So make sure, get out into the community and get involved. Vote. Things like that. Well, I always tell my college students, they don't think they should be able to vote. Oh, I'm at home. That don't mean anything. You can still vote. So we talk about that all the time, about how to motivate them about being in the community. Now, for number 6, that's my favorite. I want them to celebrate their achievements. Celebrate our Black men on even the smallest things. Just say, I am proud of you. You came a long way. You did that. Look what you did. Celebrate the achievements with those boys. They want to know. They want a pat on their backs. Don't it feel good when you have a pat on your back? When somebody tells you did a great job? Celebrate their achievements with them. For me, when I talk to students in academic difficulty and I can get them back into good standing that next semester, we celebrate. We talk about it. We look at, say, look what you did. I told you you can do it. Why not? Why not? Let's do this. You know, I have a lot of student workers that I've had over the years, and a lot of them are male. I love my Black males, and I bring them in, and I make sure that I give them those small tidbits of things that they need in order for them to succeed and graduate. So I celebrate all their achievements with them. Every time I go to all the graduations, I give them gifts. I say, hey, I need to meet your parents, things like that. But you have to celebrate their achievements. Now, number 7, provide resources and opportunities. Give your male students a chance. Don't write them off. Support them. Show how to invest. Show them how to be good investments into the community. Invest in them. Show them resources for them to succeed. Talk to them about how to manage their money, how to invest, how to save, how to purchase responsibly. Provide them with those type of resources so that when they get to your age or my age, or when they finish school, that they know that they have set themselves up for success. So provide them with resources, opportunities. Give them a chance. Like I said, most of my student workers I've had were Black males. No, I do that. I do that so that I can keep an eye on them. So when something's wrong, it's like, you know what, Ms. Ricks, this is what happened today, or I didn't pass this test. Can you help me with this? Or what's going on? I went home and my buddy did this. Well, stay here this weekend and let's have lunch or something. So celebrate them. Invest in them. And make sure, hey, our young men are going to become men. So make sure that when they get a certain age, that they can buy a house, that they can buy the car that they want, that they're not drowning in student debt. Make sure that they have those type of investments and resources they have, so that when they get out, they are set for success. Because we all know, I know for a fact, how your credit can be ruined in college. When students go to college, first thing they do is grab a credit card. And Old Dominion has stopped vendors from coming in because a lot of our students are falling prey to these companies and can't get out of that hole that they've been in because they got that credit card. So provide resources. My next one is encourage healthy relationships. Teach our Black men the importance of having a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship with their peers, with their families, with their mentors, with their teachers, with themselves. Now, we know as parents, we don't want to have that sex talk, but we had to. We had to have that talk. We had to talk about those things, those uncomfortable conversations. We had to have those type of talks with our Black men, because they fall prey very easily. I myself had no father figure in my home. Thank God I had 4 older brothers who helped encourage me and helped me with some of those things. My mom did an awesome job with those boys, but she made sure that you had no uncomfortable conversations. I have no uncomfortable conversations with my son. Some of them I don't want, but I have them. But you actually have to have those and encourage that healthy relationship, because you never know when they may need you, and they don't want them to feel alone at all. Because when they feel alone and not motivated, they do crazy things. Okay. Why I say that is you also have to emphasize the importance of self-care. That's my number 9. Remind them to prioritize their mental health, their emotional health, their physical well-being. If they're lacking in either, help point them in the right direction. Mental health is so important these days. I work for Old Dominion, and I'm on a team called the OD Cares team. And that care team, we weekly go and talk about what type of incidents have happened on campus. And it can go anywhere from sexual assault to domestic violence to suicide ideations, because students can't handle the mental health issues that happen, the emotional things, the physical things that are happening on those college campuses every day. And if they are lacking, then they need help. So encourage them to get help, seek help. Help's not saying that they're weak. Help means that they're smart enough to know when to get it. So make sure that you emphasize as much as possible how important it is to care for themselves. I can't stress that part enough. And my 10th, and I think this is my most important strategy, encourage your child, your Black male, encourage them to have a personal relationship with God. This connection can be the most powerful source of motivation and inspiration that they could ever have. God is willing, God is there. They just need to talk. Talk it out. If you don't have anybody to talk to, God's always listening. Make sure that they realize that, they know that. Because they will need the Lord throughout all these ups, downs, turnarounds, good stuff, bad stuff. They are going to need this. So make sure that you encourage a personal relationship with God. Now, with all these points, They can be interchangeable between educators, parents, students alike. If we can foster these characteristics and pour these type of things into our Black males, we can move the educational gap. We can move that socioeconomic gap. We can see more role models in our young generation. Universities do more than they ever have. I've definitely seen more and more of that since I've been at Old Dominion. And it's our job still to encourage, inspire, motivate, and remember that motivation is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, I think I've gotten off my soapbox, but I can't stress how it means to me to be able to motivate someone every day, because people pour those type of motivation, those motivational affirmations into my life. And don't hold them on to yourself. Share. And that's what I hope I've done tonight. Now, before I leave here, I have a couple more motivational affirmations. And these are things that I hang in my office, actually. Let me see if I can find one real quick. This one here is, and I don't know who actually wrote this, but it says, "Dear Black men, no matter what, someone will always be watching you. Whether it's other races, family, friends, children, women, and other men. I know the pressure mounts on your shoulders, but kings can carry the burden that others never knew existed. And you exist. Show them your beauty. Show them you're cool." I love that. And that's something I have that on my office, in my office. Another one I have it in my office says, "It's not over when you lose. It's over when you quit." And right behind my door, it's, "You got this." As they walk through the hallway, I just want them to know that they got this, because they do. And another one, and this is pretty long, but it says, "Work hard, focus more, keep grinding, dream big, eliminate doubt, never quit, stay hungry, overcome rejection, no excuses, set goals, fear less, hustle always, be humble, take risks." Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Christina. This has been awesome. I have really enjoyed the points you shared. I was kicked off for one moment, but I hopped right back on, and I think I jumped right back in with my notes. I love how you started it off with that quote from Muhammad Ali, "I dare you," because there is nothing impossible, and we need to remind our young men there is nothing impossible. Anything that they set their minds to, they can achieve it. And your whole point you were making on motivating young men and how important it is to remind ourselves to motivate them daily, because it's so easy to get caught up in our personal life, and where we are overlooking what's going on with our young men. And there is so much going on in this world today, as you mentioned, the mental health, just the stress. A lot of young men are still dealing with stuff from coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people don't like to talk about that, but some are affected by it. And so we need to motivate them daily. And yes, it does take a village, all those things you were sharing. I like when you shared about to encourage education, in a sense of it doesn't necessarily mean college. It's not a one fit model for all young men, young adults. It could be a trade school, or pursuing, like you said, pursuing what they love. Encourage them to do what they do. Like my son, I'm a mother of a young man as well. I encouraged him in his area of his gifts. He loved to sing and he loved to act. And I'm like, well, his journey is not going to necessarily look like everybody else's. And but as a teenager, I kept him in those activities, even if he didn't want to pursue that as an adult, because it teaches, it keeps them grounded, teach them, give them discipline. So encourage them and invest in them in the areas that they show that they're passionate about. It's that's when that gives them more motivation. It really does give them motivation that you care enough as a parent. And even if you are not a parent of a young man that has different gifts that may not be, on that academic high rise, they are soaring in some area in their lives. They're great at something. Support them by showing up to a game, or showing up, if they've gotten an awesome job, like I said, it may not be college, show up at their job, bring them lunch, and let them know how proud of you, how proud you are of them. You shared on providing self-confidence and highlighting their strengths. That's very important. We have to be mindful not to try to redirect young adults by coming down at them or getting into that parent mode. And even as parents, we have to shift as they're growing into young adulthood. And no one wants to hear that all the time. It don't even matter what age you are, but no one wants to hear that, right? But as a young adult, it's important to have a different approach. And so I like when you shared that. That was very good. And the positive mindset, encourage them and teach them how to give back to the community, and by volunteering and voting. Voting hasn't been a strong key point for me with my young adult, but I know you brought something to my attention, so yes, you blessed me by saying that, and you're going to bless him. And so, yes, and to celebrate their achievements, you dropped so many good nuggets and points. Provide resources and opportunities. There's so many ways we can support and motivate our young men when they don't know what direction to go in. When you are showing them and sharing resources and opportunities, teaching them how to manage their money, and they can see that through that, anything is possible. And so that is motivation and encouragement as well, encouraging healthy relationships with families and their friends, with their teachers, their educators, and their self-care, right? I love that, because we seem to only address it when there's a problem.
Right.
We're trying to correct it, but let's be proactive about self-care. Just like you get a physical yearly, why not have, that 3 sessions with that counselor yearly, just to make sure you're in a good headspace, and just to make sure you're going in the right direction, and just their overall well-being. That's very important, to look at yourself as a whole person. And I know when I was a young adult, I wasn't thinking like that, but we know now, and we have platforms as such, so we can pull those things out and pour it into our young adults. And your last point, to encourage the personal relationship with God, because when they're going up and we're in church, those of us who are in church, our children, they have no choice but to come along, right? And we know that they're getting something from it. But we've all seen a little separation. Some of us have experienced it, our personal selves, and we understand when our young adult children go into this different place. We don't like it, but they have to grow. They have to spread their wings, and they have to learn their own lessons so they can create, so they have their own testimonies. And so just exactly what you said, I like how you pointed out, just have that conversation with God. You can go to God with anything, and that creates that relationship when you start to pour out your heart to him. So that is very good. And like you said, the most important point, encouraging that personal relationship with God. So you blessed me, and I know you blessed many of the parents and the young men that are going to tune in or be the recipients of the message you received, that the parents and educators have gotten from you today. So thank you so very much, and for all that you do for young men in the education as an administrator. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I answer this? I see. What advice do you have for reaching a young adult who seems to be a loner and believes they don't need anyone? Sometimes you have to meet them where they are. And, sometimes when a lot of young adults and that, you have to teach them. People look at examples. And sometimes have an example of, hey, do you know someone who used to be like that? Someone that they can talk to. Sometimes guys need guys where they are, or who have been where they are, and to be able to talk to them. So my advice for reaching out to those young adults, if you know of some, and if you know of those who have been that way, connect them. And also tell them, hey, if you don't want to take my advice now, I'm always here if you need me. Because if they're not ready to listen, they're just not ready to listen. But sometimes you can just put little crumbs in their head, and they may not take it in at that particular point, but they've heard you.
Yep. I agree. When they're not ready to listen, they're not ready to listen. And then you can create other problems when you're trying to force that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that creates a whole nother door. So you gotta know where to lay it down and just
let them sit in it.
That's perfect. Perfect. Are there any other questions? Anything else you would like to ask Miss Christine? Any questions? Let me make sure. I'm in the comments on my phone. Does it look like anyone else have any questions? Any other questions, rather?
Well, okay. Amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. I really enjoyed all the nuggets, and I got lots and lots of notes. Mm-hmm. So it has been amazing. I mean, you just put the icing on the cake. We've had it all this week. We got the appetizer, the meat, the dessert, and you just put the finishing touches on tonight. So thank you so very much. I thank everyone who has tuned in this week. I thank you for your prayers, because I know if you were not praying for Build Your Best Life, we would still not be here. I cannot believe I've been on here since 2019. This is actually episode number 504. I cannot believe it. But it is because of you and your prayers and your support. So thank you so very much. I want to thank as well our hostess that we had for this week, all amazing women. Of course, we had Jocelyn tonight. Last night we had Brady Robinson. The night before we had Yvonne Whitfield. And Monday night we had Catherine Trotter. All angels, I tell you. How did I look up getting all these sweet people in my community? I love you all so very, very much. And thank you all so much for tuning in again tonight. But remember, if you miss Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I know everybody's busy, but when you have a minute or so, an hour or so, go back and check those out, because they were all amazing. And if you are an educator, a parent, a mentor, or someone that wants to see our young men do better, you will gain something from each broadcast. Each broadcast had enlightful information, not just boring things that we've heard before, but they were all out the box, creative information this week. So thank you. And don't forget to go on my website, get the book, Build Your Best Life. It's all about your life, your actions, and your credibility, and overcoming obstacles to build your best life, because no one here, no one that's successful can say that they've never made a mistake in their lives. So don't think that that's the end of the story. No. You can overcome those obstacles. As Christine said, keep moving, don't stop. So thank you so much. I'm not going to keep holding you, but tune in if you have time Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. for Saturday Morning Live. And my topic is learning 24/7. So hope to see some of you on Saturday morning. Be blessed. Take care. Remember, building your best life is our business. That is not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. And again, I hope to see you Saturday. And y'all know I'm looking for my video. I hope to see you Saturday morning. Love you.